Hey, welcome back to ClearTalk English. I'm Sarah, and today I have a really special episode for you. Quick question. Have you ever tried to talk about how you're feeling in English, maybe with a coworker, a friend, or even a doctor, and just didn't know the words? Like you knew exactly what you wanted to say in your language, but in English it just came out too simple or even wrong?
Oh, I've been there. I remember the first time I tried to explain to my manager that I was feeling really overwhelmed at work. I ended up just saying, I'm tired. That was it, I'm tired, which was true, but it didn't cover even a tenth of what I was actually going through?
Exactly. And that happens to so many people. So today, by the end of this episode, you are going to be able to talk about your mental health in English, how you feel, what you do to take care of your mental health, how to ask for help, and even how to support someone you care about. This is real, everyday English for real, important moments.
And the best part, these are phrases you can use today, not in a formal presentation, just in normal conversation. I genuinely wish I had this episode a few years ago.
I love your embarrassing stories. Okay, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it. So let's start with the most basic thing. How do you actually describe how you're feeling? In English, we have so many words beyond just sad or bad, and using the right word makes a huge difference when you want someone to truly understand you.
Right, and I think a lot of learners stop at I'm stressed, which is totally fine, but there's so much more you can say to really paint the picture.
Exactly. And actually, here's a super common mistake I hear all the time. People say, I am very stressed, and I completely understand what they mean, but stress by itself is a noun or a verb. When you want to describe how you feel, you need the adjective form, stressed. I feel stressed, with a D at the end.
Yes, it's one of those small things that makes a big difference. So instead of I am very stressed, you'd say I feel stressed, or even more naturally, I'm really stressed out. That little out at the end is super common in spoken English. Stressed out means you're at the limit of your stress.
Love that. And another really useful one, I've been feeling stressed lately. The present perfect there shows it's been going on for a while, not just today. Mark, what about the word anxious? A lot of people feel anxious but don't know how to say it naturally.
Yeah, so anxious is the adjective. I feel anxious about the presentation. Or you can use the noun. I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety lately. Both are completely natural. And then there's my personal favorite word in this category, overwhelmed. Oh, that one's so useful. It means you have too much to handle and you just can't manage it all. Like everything is happening at once and you don't know where to start.
Perfect description. So, our three key phrases for this block, say them with me if you can. I feel stressed out. I've been feeling anxious. I'm totally overwhelmed. Mark, let me try one on you. How are you feeling this week?
Honestly, I'm a bit stressed out because I have a deadline on Friday. But other than that, I'm doing okay.
I hear you. I've been feeling pretty overwhelmed this week too, but that's exactly why we do this podcast, right? Okay, let's talk about something really important, burnout. Mark, you've mentioned this before. Tell us what it actually means.
Have I heard of burnout? I've lived it. Burnout is when you are completely exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. It usually happens after working too hard for too long without really taking care of yourself. I hit burnout about 2 years ago, and it was genuinely one of the hardest periods of my life.
And the language around burnout is so important to know. We say, I'm burned out. And here's a quick grammar note. Burnout, as one word, is the noun. I think I'm heading toward burnout. But when it's an adjective describing how you feel, it becomes two words with a D, burned out. So, I am burnout doesn't work. You'd say, I'm burned out. Tiny difference, but worth knowing.
Yes, and there are some really vivid phrases that go with this. I hit a wall. That's when you reach a point where you physically or mentally can't keep going, like you literally ran into a wall. And I've been running on empty. Imagine a car with no gas. That's how you feel. No energy left at all.
Oh, running on empty is such a good one. Very visual. And a really natural way to start that conversation with someone is, I think I need a break. I'm completely burned out. It's simple, it's honest, and people immediately understand the weight of what you're saying. So our key phrase is, I'm burned out and I need a break. Simple, powerful, important. One thing that's really helpful is being able to describe the physical signs of stress and anxiety, because sometimes you don't feel sad exactly, but your body is giving you signals. Mark, what happens to you physically when you're really stressed?
Oh, great question. I get really tense, especially in my shoulders and neck, and I have trouble sleeping. I lie in bed and my mind just won't stop. I also get headaches, and sometimes I completely lose my appetite. Those are my warning signs that something's off.
Those are so relatable. And in English, we have really natural phrases for all of that. I can't sleep. I've been having trouble sleeping. I'm not eating well. I feel tense all the time. And for the racing thoughts, here's one I want to highlight because it's so natural and so commonly used. My mind won't stop racing, or I can't switch off my brain. A lot of learners would say something like, my mind runs a lot at night. And honestly, we understand what you mean, but the natural version is, my mind won't stop racing at night.
My mind won't stop racing. Yes. And I can't switch off my brain. Oh, I love that one. Switch off, like turning off a light. You want to relax, you want to rest, but your brain just keeps going. Click, click, click. Nothing happens. It stays on.
Ha, exactly. Okay, so our key phrase for this block, I can't stop my mind from racing. And honestly, just being able to say that to someone, it opens up such an important conversation. All right, let's level up. Quemara dos, real use. Okay, now let's talk about the good stuff. What do you actually do to take care of your mental health? And here, I want to give you a really useful structure in English. It helps me to this is one of those patterns that sounds instantly natural. It helps me to go for a walk. It helps me to call a friend. It helps me to write things down. Super flexible, super common.
And there's a similar one. I find it helpful to take breaks during the day. Same idea, slightly more formal, but still very natural in conversation.
Now, I hear learners say things like, I do meditation for my stress, or exercise is good for the mental. And again, we get it, but let me show you the more natural versions. Instead of, I do meditation for my stress, you'd say, I meditate when I'm feeling stressed, or I've started meditating and it really helps. And instead of, exercise is good for the mental, try, working out is great for my mood, or exercise really helps my mental health. See how those flow more naturally?
The difference is real. It's not about being correct, it's about sounding like someone who actually talks about these things. Mark, what do you do to take care of yourself?
Ha, you asked yourself, but I'll answer. Mark, what do you do?
Okay, so for me, exercise is huge. I go running 3 times a week, and it completely changes my mood. It's like therapy for me. I also journal. I write in a notebook for about 10 minutes every morning. It sounds simple, but I find it really helpful to get my thoughts out of my head and onto paper. And sometimes I just need to talk to someone. Call my brother. Call a friend.
I love that. Get my thoughts out of my head and onto paper. That's such a beautiful way to describe journaling. I also try to spend time in nature. Even a 20-minute walk in the park makes a big difference for me. And honestly, it helps me to disconnect from my phone for a bit. That one is huge. Okay, boundaries. This is a word you hear a lot in English conversations about mental health, and it's worth really understanding. Mark, how would you explain boundaries to someone hearing this word for the first time?
So, a boundary is basically a limit that you set for yourself, what you will and won't accept, what's okay and what's not okay for you. It can be at work, in relationships, with family, basically in any situation where you need to protect your energy or your time.
Perfect. And now the language. A lot of learners say, I need to put limits. And while that's understandable, the natural English is, I need to set boundaries. Set is the verb we use here. I'm trying to set better boundaries at work. I had to draw a line. Or very practically, I started saying no to things that drain my energy. And that phrase, drain my energy, is so good. Drain, like water going down a drain. It empties you.
And here are some mini variations you can use depending on the situation. I'm learning to say no. Great for when you're working on it. I try not to check work emails after 7 p.m. That's my boundary. Very specific and practical. I had to set a limit with my manager about working on weekends. And I'm getting better at protecting my time. That one shows growth, which is really positive.
Mark, have you ever had to actually set a boundary at work? Like, say it out loud to your manager?
Yes, and it was terrifying the first time. A few years ago, I was answering work messages at 11 p.m., midnight sometimes, and I was exhausted, like constantly, every single day. So I had a conversation with my manager, and I said, I'm not going to be available after 7 p.m. unless it's a real emergency. It was scary to say, but my stress level went way down after that. Game changer.
And notice how he said it. Not, I'm sorry, but maybe, possibly, could I not? He was direct. I'm not going to be available after 7 p.m. That's confident, clear, healthy communication. That's the goal. All right, therapy, professional help. This is still a topic people feel nervous to bring up, even in English, but it's becoming much more normal to talk about openly, and I think that's a really good thing. Mark, you've mentioned therapy before. Have you actually been?
I have, yes. I started seeing a therapist about 3 years ago, and it was honestly one of the best decisions I've ever made. I remember feeling a little embarrassed to say it at first, like what will people think? But now I just say it like it's completely normal, because it is.
I love that shift, and the language here is really straightforward. I'm seeing a therapist. I've been in therapy for about a year. I started going to therapy last year. Now, sometimes I hear learners say, I go to the psychologist for my problems, or I decided to do the therapy. And those are understandable, but the more natural versions are, I've been seeing a therapist. Using seeing is very common here. Like you'd say, I'm seeing a doctor. And I decided to start therapy. Not do the therapy, just start therapy.
And if you don't want to get into details, maybe you're not ready to say the word therapy, there are softer options. I've been thinking about talking to someone. In context, people understand someone means a professional. Or I'm working on my mental health. That's a great general phrase that's honest but doesn't require explanation.
Oh, and one of my absolute favorites, I decided to reach out for help. It sounds so proactive and positive. You made a choice to take care of yourself. So our key phrases, I'm seeing a therapist. I decided to reach out for help. I'm working on my mental health. Beautiful, natural, and nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, last block before we practice. What do you say when someone else is going through a hard time? Because sometimes we want to help, we want to be there for someone, but we freeze. We don't know what to say in English. And the wrong words, even with good intentions, can make someone feel worse.
Right, and I think the biggest mistake in any language, not just English, is jumping straight to advice or solutions. Just exercise more. Have you tried meditating? Look on the bright side. People say these things because they care, but most of the time, someone who's struggling just wants to feel heard, not fixed.
Exactly. And so the most important phrases are about listening and validating, showing the person that what they feel is real and it matters. So instead of just think positive, which is dismissive even if you mean well, try, that sounds really hard. I can imagine that's not easy. You don't have to go through this alone. Those land completely differently.
And I hear you. Oh, this one is so powerful and so simple. I hear you doesn't mean I can hear the sounds you're making. It means I understand. I see you. What you're feeling is valid. It's one of the most empathetic things you can say in English.
So beautifully put. Now, a phrase that I think is a bit underused but incredibly thoughtful. Mark, you mentioned this once and it stuck with me.
Do you need me to listen or do you need advice? Because sometimes people just need to vent, to talk and let it out without anyone trying to fix anything. And sometimes they genuinely want practical suggestions. Asking that question first shows that you actually care about what they need, not just what you want to offer.
That question alone can change everything. So, our key phrase for this block, I'm here for you. Do you want to talk about it? Warm, open, no pressure. Perfect. Okay, let's practice. All right, this is my favorite part. Let's actually use everything we learned today. I'm going to give you a situation, and Mark is going to respond naturally using the phrases from this episode. And you, yes, you listening or watching right now, try to come up with your answer before Mark does. Ready?
Let's do it. I feel a tiny bit nervous, honestly, but in a good way.
Okay, situation one. Your friend sends you a message. I don't know, I've just been feeling really down lately. What do you write back?
Okay, I'd say, I hear you. That sounds really hard. Do you want to talk about it? I'm here for you. Short, warm, no pressure. Just opens the door.
Perfect. No advice, no solutions, just presence. Okay, situation two. Your coworker looks at you and says, Hey, you seem a little off today. Are you okay? How do you answer honestly without oversharing?
I'd say, yeah, I've just been feeling a bit stressed out lately. There's a lot going on, but thanks for asking. I really appreciate it. Honest, not too much detail, and you thank them. Keeps it friendly and real.
Love it. Situation three, your manager asks why you need Thursday afternoon off. You have a therapy appointment, but you don't want to explain everything. What do you say?
Simple. I have a personal appointment on Thursday afternoon. Done. You don't know anyone the details. Or if you feel comfortable and want to normalize it, you can say, I have a mental health appointment. More and more people say this and it's completely acceptable.
Exactly right. Both options are valid. One is private, one is open. You get to choose. Okay, last one. Situation four. A close friend tells you they've been thinking about seeing a therapist, but they feel embarrassed about it. What do you say?
I'd say there's absolutely nothing to be embarrassed about. Taking care of your mental health is so important. Honestly, I've been to therapy myself, and it really helped me. I think it's one of the best things you can do for yourself.
Beautiful, personal, honest, encouraging, no judgment, just support. Okay, how are you feeling after that practice?
Really good, actually. It's funny, once you've said these phrases a few times, they start to feel like yours, like they belong to you.
That's exactly it. And that's the whole point of this episode. The more you practice, the more natural it feels, until one day you just say it automatically in a real moment. That's the goal. Okay, let's do a quick recap, and I want you to really notice how much ground you covered today, because it's a lot. We started with feelings. I feel stressed out, I've been feeling anxious, I'm totally overwhelmed. Then burnout. I'm burned out, I hit a wall, I've been running on empty. Physical signs of stress. My mind won't stop racing. I can't switch off my brain. Then we went deeper, self-care. It helps me to. I find it helpful to. It makes a big difference. Boundaries. I'm learning to say no. I had to set a limit. I'm getting better at protecting my time. Therapy. I'm seeing a therapist. I decided to reach out for help. I'm working on my mental health. And supporting others. I'm here for you. That sounds really hard. I hear you. Do you need to vent?
That is a genuinely impressive amount of real English. And here's what I love about all of these phrases. They're not fancy. They're not complicated. They're just honest, warm, human language. You can use every single one of them in a casual conversation today.
I also just want to say, talking about mental health in any language takes courage. In English, as a second language, it takes even more. But you've got the words now. You've got the phrases. You're ready for these conversations.
And remember, sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is also the simplest. I'm not okay. That sentence alone can open a conversation that really matters.
All right, your challenge for this week. Try using at least one phrase from today in a real situation. Maybe you tell someone, I've been feeling a bit stressed out lately. Maybe you ask a friend, do you need to vent? Small moments, real impact.
And I'd genuinely love to know. Leave us a comment below. What's the hardest part of talking about mental health in English for you? Is it finding the words? Is it feeling vulnerable in a second language? Tell us. We read every single comment, and we really appreciate hearing from you.
If this episode was helpful, please hit subscribe right here on ClearTalk English. We drop new episodes every week on real-life English conversation topics. And if you know someone who's learning English, share this episode with them. They might need these phrases too.
And next week, we're covering how to talk about your job and career in English. Really practical stuff for interviews, networking, and everyday work conversations. You don't want to miss it.
It's going to be such a good one. Thank you so much for being here today. Take care of yourselves in every language, and we'll see you next week on ClearTalk English. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care.